Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. And today we're going to be talking about Abzan Clues combo. I'm very excited to bring this list to you. For those who've been following the channel for a while, we typically really don't do a lot of combo decks, so this is kind of cool that we actually have a combo deck featured on the channel here. And as always, before we hop into the deck tech, let me know at the end of the video, what do you think about the list? Is there a card that I definitely should have included that I didn't? Just let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any suggestions for upcoming videos, just let me know as well. So this is also our fourth deck tech featuring new cards from the Murders at Karlov Manor. And obviously for those who are keeping up with spoilers and you know the thumbnail card here, there's a huge card that was printed that definitely enables a ton of combos in in many different formats, every format that's going to be legal in pretty much. So the main one is Persuasive Interrogators. It's a 5/6 for 6. When it enters the battlefield, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. So immediately when this card was printed, I thought to myself, okay, what's a really great card that can sacrifice an artifact for essentially no cost? And guess what? There's like a couple cards in Pioneer that do that, but none are more efficient than Bartolome del Presidio. New card from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And there were a couple different ones, but Bartolome was by far the best one. You can do it at instant speed. It's a 2-mana creature. And I got to think, what if we made a deck that just plays essentially a bunch of cards that make clues? And then we just kill them. We play the Persuasive Interrogators. We have a Bartolome in play. We just sacrifice 5 clues, and boom, our opponent is dead. And that's essentially what we're going to be doing today. It's an Abzan Clues. It's like an Abzan Company deck, but it's also playing the clue stuff that can kill with the Persuasive Interrogators. We're only playing 2 copies of it because, spoiler alert, we're playing Collected Company, and obviously you can't hit off the Collected Company. But there'll be other ways that we'll be able to tutor up Persuasive Interrogators, which will make sense in just a second here. So anyways, we're playing 2 Persuasive Interrogators. We're playing 2 Bartolomes. We're also playing 2 Skrelvs. So Skrelv is essentially like our Mother of Runes in this deck for the most part. It does have Toxic 1 and can give Toxic. We're very rarely going to actually kill them with poison without comboing them for the most part. It's going to be like the craziest thing if we actually do it. But Skrelv is just really good because it can help protect our creatures. Big fan of Skrelv, really enough said about it for the most part. It's just a very, very good card. So, next slide here. Some of our main creatures that help investigate and make clue tokens. We're playing 4 Thraben Inspector and 4 Novice Inspector. Obviously, they're the same card. They're both human, 1/2 for 1 that make clue tokens. They're just very, very good. We're also playing 2 Homicide Investigator. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. Really good with Bartolome. We can sacrifice our Novice Inspectors and other creatures when we don't need them anymore, and we can just go ahead and make another clue. We can only do it once each turn, so we got to kind of keep that in mind that we can only do it once, but the card is extremely strong. Definitely a big fan of Homicide Investigator. Then our next slide here is our last main clue card that we're playing. We're playing 4 Tireless Tracker. The card is incredible. Whenever a land enters, we investigate, and then whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. Other thing I want to keep in mind here, so with Bartolome, if we have Bartolome and Tireless Tracker in play, if we sacrifice an artifact to Bartolome, and put a 1/1 counter on Bartolome, it still triggers the Tireless Tracker. We don't actually have to crack the clue and draw the card to be able to put the counter on it. In any way we sacrifice a clue, we get to put a 1/1 counter on it. So do keep that in mind. If we've got a handful of clues, and they go to burn spell us and we're tapped out, we can sacrifice some of those clues and then potentially get our Tireless Tracker out of burn range. I wanted to just go ahead and mention that. And then it's weird featuring them so late, but we're also playing 4 Llanowar Elves and 4 Elvish Mystics. Really good in a Collected Company deck like this, especially since our main combo piece is 6 mana, so we're going to want to be able to get to that. And to be honest with you, there's other cards we could have played in this slot, but the Elf package is just really, really good in a deck like this. So our last slide here is pretty much our tutor package, because obviously we're going to need ways to get all of our combo pieces. We're playing 1 Fierce Empath. 1/1 for 3. When it enters, you may search your library for a creature card with CMC 6 or greater, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Spoiler alert, our combo piece is 6 mana, so that's why we have the Fierce Empath. We could also chord for it, which is pretty sweet, or put it into play with Collected Company. There could be some situations where we have essentially 6 mana, like we've got a couple lands and like a couple dorks, whatever, and then we just go end step, Chord of Calling, because to be able to chord for a combo piece, we need 9 mana. Like, that's a lot of mana. So we can just go ahead and chord for the Fierce Empath, boom, trigger, put the guy into our hand, untap, and then go ahead and cast it, and then hopefully win the game as long as we have a Bartolome in play. But we're also playing 4 Collected Company, because guess what? All of our creatures can be put into play except for the combo piece. But Collected Company is still really, really good. We put in all of our clue guys. We get a whole bunch more clues. So that way, by the time we actually get the combo set up, we have, because we only need 5 clues, and it itself makes a clue. So we only need to make 4 clues, essentially, to be able to just combo off. But Collected Company definitely helps us do that. And then we're playing 2 Chord of Calling. Again, we can target up specific cards. You know, if we were really looking for a specific clue maker, we can grab that. Once again, we can also grab the Fierce Empath. It really just depends. We're also playing some creatures in our sideboard, spoiler alert, that can, you know, be impactful. Like we have a Loran in the sideboard, so that way if we need to tutor up an artifact or enchantment hate creature, we can do that. It really depends on your local metagame. You could really play whatever creature, you know, like creature tutor package creature, whatever you want. For the most part, really any of them are pretty solid. So that's our entire main board, except for our lands here, which let's go and hop into that. It's pretty simple. We're playing 4 Concealed Courtyard, 4 Blooming Marsh, and 4 Razorverge Thicket. We're also playing 2 Godless Shrine, 2 Overgrown Tomb, and 4 Temple Garden. I've got them in red there in the bottom. I always have the cards priced out in US dollars. You know, they're a little pricey a piece, so, you know, if you don't have the, you know, if you don't just have them laying around, don't feel like buying them, just go ahead and substitute those out for some Pain lands. They're significantly cheaper, and they're still very effective. We're also playing 1 Boseiju, 1 Plains, and 1 Forest. I didn't put in a Swamp just because we're not really playing a lot of black cards for the most part. It's really just like Bartolome, and then we're also playing our main combo piece. But as our spicy basic land of the day, I decided to play the new Phyrexia lands. I know I featured these on the channel before, pretty much playing them just because, hey, you know, we got like a poison theme going on, so what we're trying to do, so why not play some like the poison themed lands, you know, kind of makes sense. So that's our entire main board. Let's go ahead and hop into the sideboarding as well as some budget options. So I always give just a generic kind of idea of what you should be playing. We're definitely going to want some Graveyard Hate. Cards like Rest in Peace is fantastic. That's personally what I would recommend. You could also play a card, you could play like Tormod Script or Soul Guide Lantern if you wanted to, but I would personally recommend Rest in Peace. We're also going to want some extra removal. Cards like Fatal Push, Ray of Enfeeblement. You could play Bitter Triumph, really any Doomblade effect. Any of those would be fantastic to play in the sideboard. I also put tutor targets. You know, some spicy one-ofs would be great. You know, again, you could play a card like Redain God of the Worthy. You could also play, oh man, what other great ones? I mentioned Lauren of the Third Path earlier. Really just any problematic matchup that's in your local metagame. You know, if like, oh man, I'm really having a hard time with blank, just, you know, play a couple of random tutor targets, and then you can catch your opponent off guard with like a Collected Company or a Chord of Calling. Really, there's fantastic options. If you want to know what I'm playing on my sideboard, the link for the deck list is in the description below, so that way you know what I am playing. And the last thing we got to talk about is the budget options. It's pretty simple. Trim the utility lands like the Boseiju, that kind of thing. Definitely help cut down on cost. You're definitely going to want some budget dual lands. Obviously, we're playing a 3-color deck in Pioneer, so, you know, those fast lands and the pain or the shock lands are definitely going to add up. Just play some of the pain lands in the temples. You could play those, and that would overall cut down the cost significantly. The other thing is you could technically play just black-white over the Abzan. The green is pretty much just for like the Mana Dorks, the Tireless Tracker, and the Creature Tutors. You could just play like a black-white, you know, like you still get the Thraben Inspector and the Detective whose name I'm forgetting. You still get like all those cards. You get the main combo pieces. You technically, to substitute the tutors, you could also play, I'm forgetting the name of it, it's from what is it, not Kaladesh, Aether Revolt. There's technically a slightly worse Bartolome that you could play as like more options to be able to combo it out. There's definitely a lot of good options you could play. You could just play like a simple black-white like artifact clue matters deck and then also have a combo piece. It's really up to you for the most part, but you could easily get it to under $50 if you really wanted to. So that's the entire deck. Thanks for everybody for watching. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about the list? Is there a card that I didn't include that definitely should be in the list? Just let me know in the comment section below. So I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.